everybody. Welcome back to the Pink Wednesdays podcast, where every Wednesday we wear pink and yap about recent news and random stuff. Today's pink drink of the day is actually half green, half pink, and it's slowly turning more green because I waited too long to start filming. But it's something I've been wanting to try for ages. It's the strawberries and cream matcha latte with oat milk from the Black Sheep Coffee. Black Sheep Coffee is like a new chain, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Look how cute. It says leave the herd behind. And I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I love sheep. So when I first saw this, I was like, oh, sheep. Cheers, queers. Let's try it. It's lovely. I think it could do with a bit more sweetener, but it's very nice and smooth. I have a special guest today, apart from our usual co-host, Beverly the Chihuahua, but I think I might have to go capture our special guest. This is Pixie the cat! Oh, hello! Oh, I don't know if you heard that because I wasn't holding the microphone. But isn't she beautiful? She didn't want to be picked up though. Sorry, Pixie. But she's my stepdaughter and I'm cat sitting for the week. And I'm so excited because she's so cute. She's very, very loving. She's sitting over there now. Oh, you want to stay here with us? You sweet girl. Oh, you too, Beverly. Don't be jealous. Anyway, another life update I have this week is that I recently found out I'm French. I've been putting together this photo album for the whole Zelg family. So I've been finding really old pictures and trying to organize it chronologically and everything. So eventually I can print copies for a few different people in my family. And I thought it would be cute. But along with that, I started doing a family tree because I thought it'd be quite interesting. Because although I'm from Brazil, a lot of my ancestors were from different parts of Europe. So I started doing that and I got up to the 1400s, which is so exciting. And at first, I only found countries that I already knew about, like obviously Brazil. Some of my ancestors were actually in Brazil up until like the 1500s, and I didn't find any records before that. And that's when Brazil was like discovered. I say discovered lightly because there were already people living there. So there might not have been records before them in the way that we are used to nowadays. But I found ancestors of mine who have been in Brazil this whole time. But then I also found all the countries in Europe that I knew I had ancestors from, like Germany, Italy, and Portugal, Belgium as well. But what I wasn't expecting, because there's a whole side of my family that I lost touch with, I wasn't expecting that when I started following that trend, I found out that like from the 1800s to the 1400s, they were French. Oh, and from like the French Riviera, which is beautiful. So I was genuinely so surprised. So now I'm like, oui. I know it's just like one small strand of my family because once you get that far back, the family tree becomes so huge. So, like, you can have a bunch of people on one strand that is actually so far away from you. So, I'm probably like 1% French or something. But still, I'm like, bonjour, where's my croissant? Yeah, that's the fanciest I've ever felt. That was definitely a surprise. So now I wanna do the DNA test to find out if my discoveries have been right or not. But for all I know, I'm French now. So just yesterday, I put out my new music video for my song I Wish I Could Trust You. You're gaslighting and cheating, you're lying and you're scheming. I wish it wasn't true, I wish I could trust you. And it's always so exciting to put music videos out because it takes so long to make them and there's so much time and effort that goes into it, so it's so nice for it to actually be out there. And I was especially excited for this one because this is a music video with like a storyline, and I've noticed they all prefer when videos have a storyline and there's like plot twists and everything, so I'm very happy with that. And I filmed this one myself too, edited it myself, and I was especially excited for this one because it's, for the time being, my last rock music slash pop rock music video and single for a while because I am working on some new stuff and it's gonna be a very different genre, a very different vibe and aesthetic, and I am so excited about it. It's something that I've been dreaming of since I was a teenager, but I wasn't brave enough to do it up until now. And I just thought, fuck it. That's what always wanted to try. So this was kind of like the end of an era, at least for now. You never know, I might go back to that genre one day, but for the foreseeable future, that was the last one. So yeah, I was very excited and the response has been so lovely. I wanted to thank you all for all your lovely comments. Like everybody has been really, really nice, apart from someone, and well, not just one someone, because quite a few people liked that comment, but a few people were upset with me because they said that I was promoting binge eating and drinking as a coping mechanism in the music video. And that made me realize more than ever that sometimes people can't separate things and realize that I was playing a character. I don't know if this happens to everybody who creates music and music videos or movies or anything like that people can't separate them from the characters, or if it's just me because I've been so open about my own life and, being just myself as a person online for so long that people just see me, and if I'm doing something in a music video they think I'm actually doing it myself. But I was playing a character, and I won't say what happens at the end because I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I'm just gonna say that in the end the character I was playing in is proved wrong. So she was in the wrong throughout the video. I wasn't saying that what she was doing was like a good approach. It's obvious she was in the wrong, and if you watch the whole video, sometimes I think when people comment things, they haven't finished watching the video yet, and then they just comment. It's very clear that she was freaking out, and sometimes that's something people do, and it's okay to depict that in a story because that's something that people do sometimes to when they're coping. I'm not saying it's a healthy thing, but in this case specifically, she turned out to not even be right, and she was freaking out when she shouldn't have been. Anyway, I said too much, but but that actually just reminds me of a video I watched from one of my favorite creators on YouTube called Queer Kiwi. That's why I said creator, because I was thinking of queer, 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 queer creators are now called creators. It's kind of cute. Anyway, but she was saying how nowadays people tend to have so little media literacy, which is basically just getting things wrong. It's like seeing a character who's in the wrong or who is, for example, a villain doing something wrong in a story and then thinking, oh, this story is promoting this, when no, that was exactly the opposite of the message. So no, I am not promoting binge eating and binge drinking when you go through a breakup, although I know sometimes it happens because breakups are difficult and sometimes people do drink and eat excessively to put up with things. Obviously, it's not a good coping mechanism, but I think it's okay to depict that in stories. But I wish people wouldn't think everything I do in music videos is real life because I'm playing a character. Like many times in the past when I was in a relationship and had love interests in a music video, people were like, "But you're in a relationship, how can you do this?" Because I'm playing a character, it's acting. It might be because it's a music video and not a movie, because obviously a music video still has my actual name on it. But the way I make music videos, it's always a bit of a story and I'm playing a character. The things that happen in the music videos are not real. Like in my torture music video, I was a vampire. Vampires obviously don't exist. And in my brief music video, I had big angel wings. I'm playing a character in a fantasy. It doesn't mean that whatever happens in a music video is real. I mean, it sounds really obvious now that I say it out loud, but yeah. Anyway, just wanted to put that out there. We have some really sad and worrying news this week. I try my best to make this podcast very lighthearted and happy so it can be a place where people can relax and not worry about the outside world for the hour or half hour you're listening to it. But sometimes there are things that need to be said. And I don't want to make this podcast super political. That is not my journey on the internet. But I think sometimes when it comes to people's rights of being themselves and loving who they want and existing, I think that goes beyond politics. Wherever you are in the political spectrum, you should care about things like that and you should want everybody to be equal and respected. And especially me being bisexual and having been married to a woman before and having an audience that is very queer, I don't think it would be right of me to be in this position and have this platform and not mention what's been going on in America right now. As you probably know, efforts are being made to take equal marriage away. So right now, as I film this, the Supreme Court is considering whether or not to hear this appeal from a clerk called Kim Davis. So if they decide to go ahead and hear this appeal, that could then lead to Obergefell v. Hodges to be overturned, which would mean gay marriage wouldn't be protected anymore in America, which is basically the same process that led to Roe v. Wade being overturned recently. It is very worrying because the Supreme Court is very conservative at the moment. So it is very possible that this could happen. I've heard a few different types of views on this. I've heard people say, no, don't worry, they won't actually listen to it. And I've heard people saying, actually, yes, you should you should panic. I mean, don't panic, but there's a good chance this might happen. Even Hillary Clinton, whatever your thoughts may be on her, she said that if you are a queer couple in America right now and you've been thinking of getting married, you should do it sooner rather than later. Because the only good news is that in 2022, Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act, which means that all existing gay marriages and intersex marriages are protected by law. So everybody who's already married will be okay, but people won't be able to get married in the future. So if they do overturn Obergefell, it doesn't mean that in the whole country you're not able to get married. It means that it will revert to how it was before. It would be up to each state, apart from existing marriages, which is awful anyway. Imagine you not being able to get married in your own state. So it's not like equal marriage would be fully banned. It would probably just end up being banned on red states. But the point is, people shouldn't be discriminated anywhere. It's 2025. Queer people should be allowed to get married and not discriminated against. It's that simple. I don't think that's a political statement. I think whether you are right wing or left wing, if you're against gay people having the right to marry, then you can fuck off, honestly. That's why religion has no place being involved with government. In any country, people should have freedom of religion, yes, but that should be a personal thing. It shouldn't affect other people's rights who are not of the same religion as you. Full stop. This push for Christian values in the world, in many different governments, not just in America, is terrifying because not everybody is Christian. The laws shouldn't be based on religion, any religion, whether it's Islam or Christianism. People should be free to have their own religions as long as it doesn't affect others who are not partaking in that religion. And yeah, I'm not in America. I used to be married to an American. As you know, I'm not anymore. But I care. I care. I have lots of friends who are queer and live in America. I have a lot of followers who are in America. And unfortunately, a lot of countries look up to America, and things that happen in America are reflected and copied around the world. This right-wing wave that started in America, it's happening all over. It's happening in my country, back in Brazil, it's happening here in the UK, it's happening in Europe. It impacts everybody, unfortunately. So I had to say something about it. I mean, if I can't stand for equal marriage, then we're too far gone, right? If we can't talk about this. Another thing that happened this week that is really upsetting, but also very important to talk about, is what happened to this 18-year-old woman called Jerica Mudra. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, in Minneapolis. Jerica is a biological woman. She was born in a female body. She's 18 years old. She's a student. She went to a bathroom at a restaurant chain, and because she's more masculine presenting and she was wearing a hoodie, so, wasn't very form-fitting, one of the employees at this establishment went into the bathroom and harassed her, asking her to leave the bathroom, thinking she was a trans woman, and only left her alone when she got out of the stall and had to open up her hoodie to show that she had breasts. And this same 18-year-old said this happened to her a bunch of times before, but this time was the worst one. And I've heard lots of stories like this, and it just goes to show that discriminating against trans women is not good for anybody. It's bad for cis women too, because it's not actually about protecting women, is it? It's just about controlling women and saying what women have to look like. Because now you can't look butch anymore and go into the female bathroom without being harassed. I mean, even me, I'm the girliest girl alive, and still, I've been transvestigated online really seriously before, to the point that even now, to this day, every now and then I get a message referring to me as a man because they think I'm a trans woman, and then obviously they're transphobes, so they think trans women are men, so they call me a man, even though I was assigned female at birth. So it's just not good for anybody. Imagine this poor girl having to go through that. And now, I watched an interview with her. She says that she doesn't use public bathrooms anymore, that she just holds it in. How sad is this? That woman can't even go pee, whether it's a trans woman or a cis woman. That a person can't even go and pee. There's this whole fake narrative that men, predatory men, are pretending to be trans women to go into women's bathrooms to assault them. There might have been a case or two, which is very much the exception. But if you think about it realistically, would a predatory man dress up as a woman to go into a woman's bathroom to do that? No, they wouldn't. Because first, that kind of man wouldn't want to be dressed as a woman because they're misogynistic and disgusting. Second, if they're gonna do something wrong, they would do it when there's nobody watching. They would just go in as a man when there's nobody around. Because there's no security at the door in a bathroom checking who looks female and who doesn't. Anybody can go in, and if they're gonna be dodgy about it, they're gonna go in when nobody's watching. They're not gonna dress up as a woman to go assault somebody. What weird idea is that? Like, how? That's so unrealistic. And statistically, most women are assaulted in their own homes and in spaces like empty car parks and things like that, not in the bathroom, because usually there's a lot of people around in the bathroom. It's never actually been about protecting women. That's an excuse, and that's a way of convincing people who do have good intentions to side with transphobes. I know some people are not gonna like that I've been talking about this because it's supposedly political, but I don't think basic human decency and respect and not discriminating people is political. That should just be a given. I understand that some people have different opinions politically about like how taxes should be dealt with and economic policies and things like that. I'm personally on the left in that aspect too, but that's politics to me. When it comes to people's basic human rights, that's past politics, that's just basic decency. Right, let's change the subject completely to something more lighthearted and happy, because I promised you would be lighthearted and happy. Taylor Swift announced her new album. I am so excited for the life of a showgirl. I am sure you know about this because that's all I can see online. At least on my Instagram, every other post is Taylor Swift, but maybe I just made it into the Swiftie bubble. Don't know if y'all know this about me, but I love Taylor Swift. I'm not like a certified Swiftie that follows everything and knows everything, but I really like her as a person and her music, and I've been a fan since that VMA. Back in the day when Kanye West was horrible to her, that's the first I found out about her. I was watching that live with my mom, and I was like, oh my god, she's such a sweet girl. And then I started listening to her music, and I was like, oh my god, she's an amazing songwriter. And I've been listening to her music ever since. I am very excited, and as you probably seen everywhere, Taylor made an appearance on her boyfriend's podcast. I'm not sure if it's his podcast or his friend's podcast. I don't know, I've never watched it before. I just watched the clip with Taylor Swift in it. And she announced her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, which she wrote and recorded while she was on the Eras tour, which is super cool because she was actually living the life of a showgirl while she was recording it. I'm especially excited for the song Cancelled. I'm hoping it's gonna have like Look What You Made Me Do Reputation sort of vibes. I love that era. That was my favorite era for sure. So she's been posting a lot of alternative covers for the album, but the main cover is one of her wearing this beautiful like rhinestone bodysuit thing, and she's half underwater, which I think is beautiful. But I saw a lot of people complaining, saying that they prefer the other covers as opposed to the one she actually chose. I don't. That was actually my favorite because some of the other ones, yeah, are sexier and she might even look better in them, but they're not as artsy. I think the cover she chose actually has more of a like duality of her being a showgirl and being glamorous, but at the same time she's like underwater, so it could show that, you know, there is tension and suffering. She's like drowning, but she's perceived as this glamorous figure. You know, that's how I interpreted it. But oh my god, I saw someone's TikTok. I don't remember who the person was, but it made my blood boil because this woman was commenting on one of the pictures of Taylor where she's wearing a showgirl outfit and like it's a sexier look. You know, she has her belly out. It's beautiful. But this lady is criticizing it, saying Taylor said for so long that she didn't want to be objectified, and now look at her wearing this. And I'm like, what? Ah! It drives me crazy when you think it's okay to objectify women just based on what they're wearing. She could be naked. People still should treat her with respect. It's insane that if someone wants to look and feel sexy and wear whatever they want, you think they're okay with being objectified and that they're doing that for the male gaze. Like, clearly, she has mostly female followers. She's just being glamorous and fabulous. Ah, but I think for the most part, people are excited about it. I am. I can't wait to hear it. Moving on to my favorite items this week. I think this might have to be a bi-weekly segment going forward because I don't get that much stuff, so it'll be quite a quick one this week. But I got this hair product that pairs up with the hair product that I showed, I think, a couple of weeks ago. There's like them glossy spray thing to make your hair less frizzy because I bleach my hair a lot, so it gets a bit frizzy. But as you can see, there aren't any flyaways or anything at the moment, and that's because of this. So this is basically the same thing, but for when your hair is wet. So you just rub it on your hands and then put it on your hair, and then you blow dry it, and then you spray the other one on top. And to be honest, I haven't even blow dried my hair or anything. I just put that on and let it dry naturally because I've been trying not to use so much heat on it. And it worked great. I love it. The other thing I got this week was this rhinestone belt, chain, whatever you want to call it. I thought it was very cute, very Y2K, and I just got it on Amazon. It was very cheap. I think it was like £4 or something. I've also switched hair dyes. I've been using this one called the Big Pink by Bleach London. It says no bleach, peroxide or ammonia, semi-permanent vegan hair dye. As you can see, the picture is quite different from what I have on my hair, and that's because I've been doing this mix, which is exactly the shade I wanted, which is this with a bit of white conditioner and then just 1 or 2 drops of blue hair dye. Literally a drop. Just because my natural hair is dark, so when I bleach it, it gets a little bit orangey, yellowy. So just adding a little bit of blue to it just helps keep that out, and the conditioner makes it lighter, otherwise it would be a very dark pink. And I'm really enjoying this shade. I could even make it a little bit lighter, but obviously it lasts longer the darker it is. Now, for the pink item, oh, oh my god, it is huge. For the pink item of the week, I have this flower robe that, as you can see, it's not just pink, it's a bunch of colors, but there's a lot of pink, so I thought I could get away with it. But this is a very special robe to me because Beverly's hiding under it now. I made it myself for my Sunflower in the Shade music video. So this was my first music video back after releasing my album during the pandemic and then taking a long break for a few years because I was so depressed after turbulent things happened in my personal life. I was really not well. So I didn't make music for years, which was so sad for me because music is my number one passion. Hello, Beverly. Hello. You're covered in flowers. She loves burrowing under blankets and things, by the way. She's not unhappy about this. So I released this single called Sunflower in the Shade and made the music video for it. And the aesthetics of the video were very heavily inspired by Midsummer, the movie. And there's a scene where she's covered in flowers. And I wanted something along those lines, but different. So I had the idea of buying a normal, like, beige sort of robe, and then I hot glued every single flower to this. It has long sleeves and it's super long. It's massive. So then I just had flowers on my titties and was wearing this robe, walking around singing. I had flowers stuck to my nails as well. Oh my god, it was so much fun. That's probably the prettiest I've ever felt. Just walking around like a manor house, singing and wearing this flowery robe. It was so much fun. That's probably still one of my favorite music videos. I love that one. I think it was just because it was so special coming back and doing music again. Right, it's time to answer some of your questions on Instagram. By the way, I want to do a new segment where I give you advice. So if you have any like problems that you want to ask me advice about, just DM me either on Instagram and TikTok, and I will choose one every week to read. And I won't say your name unless you ask me to. But today we just have a few questions. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Oh my god, it depends if I'm thinking about nutrition or just taste. If I'm just thinking about taste and what I enjoy, my favorite food is probably avocado rolls, you know, like sushi rolls, but with avocado inside, because it's so delicious and it's vegan. I'm not even vegan, I'm vegetarian, but I try my best to eat vegan most of the time because I think it's better than nothing. And oh my god, I love avocado rolls so much. That's my favorite. I could eat that every day forever. But that's probably not the best, right? If you were gonna only eat that because there's no protein in that. So nutrition wise, I would probably have rice and beans. Rice and beans is the national dish from Brazil and it's so delicious. I make it the Brazilian way, which is so delicious in my opinion. And that has a lot of protein because of the beans, and it has carbs because of the rice, and it's very tasty. That would probably be better for you. In fact, a lot of people eat that every day in Brazil. I eat it very often, actually. Would you get any other piercings? No. I love piercings, they're so beautiful, but it's so fucking painful. At least in my opinion. Like, I find tattoos so easy, and piercings excruciatingly painful. I got my ears pierced when I was 3, so I have no memory of it. But my mom said she didn't want to get my ears pierced, but I kept insisting because I wanted to wear earrings at 3, so she took me to get my ears pierced. So I don't remember it. But when I got my belly button pierced, it was excruciating. I don't know how people do it. It was so painful. And I got two because I wanted one on top and one at the bottom. And the one at the bottom got infected. And I kept going to the doctors and it was honestly infected and hurting so much for about a year. It was disgusting and so horrible. And like I had to remove it and everything, but still like it kept going for that long. So now I only have one belly button piercing. Another question was, are your songs based on your life experience? And yes and no. I would say the majority of them are, But sometimes that just starts out as the inspiration. I might have a feeling about something and start from there, but then as the song develops, it might change meaning. So please don't think that every single word I say in my songs is something that actually is happening to me at the moment. It could be about something that happened ages ago, or it could have only started with a feeling, or it could even be about something else, So yes, they are very personal, but not to the extent where it's like every single word. Why did you decide to move to London? What made it different from other cities? I moved to London because I wanted to be a singer-songwriter, and that's obviously still the case. And I chose London because it's a very good city for the music industry. A lot of really successful acts that are known worldwide came from London. This week's sapphic book is the one and only Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Ngun. I am sorry if I'm butchering her last name, but this is an amazing book, and you probably have heard of it because it's very popular. And the best part is that it's not only one book, it is a trilogy. There are 3 amazing books that you can read, but Girls of Paper and Fire is the first one. This is a really, really well written book with a very deep meaning. It is set in a fictitious kingdom called Ikara that was inspired by ancient Malaysia, and that's the author's background. And in this kingdom, there are 3 different castes. Paper caste, which is humans, and that's the lowest caste that is treated so badly. Then there's steel caste, which is humans with a few demon features, so maybe like animal ears or something like that. And then there's the moon caste, which is full demons, and they look a lot more like animals, still with some human features, but a lot more demon features than the steel cast. And the moon cast, or the demons, they are in power. So the king that controls everything is part of the moon cast, and they rule over all the other casts and really take advantage of it. For example, and that's where the story starts, every year 8 beautiful girls are chosen to be the king's concubines. So whenever he wants, he can call one of these beautiful girls to come over to his bedroom and do whatever he pleases, which is awful because it's basically rape. So this happens against this lady's consent. Some of them are from noble families that volunteer them, but a lot of them have just been captured for their beauty against their will. And that's the case of our protagonist, Lei, who was chosen because she has beautiful golden eyes, which was believed to be a good luck omen. So once she gets there, she falls in love with one of the paper girls, and it's a beautiful, slow burn love story. It's not spicy, but it's really beautiful, and each character, not only them two, but all the paper girls, they are very well developed characters that go through changes that really make you feel different emotions for each one of them. You really believe the story and each character is really well written like that. But the most important part of the plot is their fight for freedom against this regime which oppresses humans and women especially, and it's really beautifully written. You really root for them. But of course, if you are triggered by themes of abuse and rape, then I wouldn't recommend you read it because there are some really difficult scenes. But I think it's a really important book to discuss standing up against oppressors and fighting for freedom. Even though it's a fictitious story, you could apply that to the real world in many different ways. So definitely recommend. I could not put this book down, and I read all 3 books super quick. Today's shout out of the day goes to Couplet Comedy, which is a couple that makes really funny music. They identify as queer, and some of the songs are about that, and they are really talented. They sing and play guitar and the violin, so I definitely recommend giving them a follow. So that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for being here and watching my podcast. Please go watch my new music video, I Wish I Could Trust You, and also stream I Wish I Could Trust You on Spotify or YouTube or any music platforms. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much. Have a very, very lovely day. Mwah!